Shalom, shalom. This is Hawood. So I'm making this little video so you guys can you know, hear what's going on. So I'm about to show y'all I'm gonna try to do it tonight. I've been looking for the movie, but I think I think I found it. So I'm gonna pull this movie up and I'm going to let that play, and then I'll show you, what's going on or whatever like that, and then from there, I'll and from there, I'll show you the other part. So pretty much with this movie, they're not telling you, well, they're telling you the creator's name, but of course, they put a twist on it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you that that's his name. Now, has anybody noticed something? Y'all see my eye? You notice how my one eye is dark and the other one isn't? Well, this is the eye that got knocked out of my head. I'm quite sure y'all probably saw the video with that. This eye was literally hanging out of my head. So, just in case y'all, you see it just look crazy or something like that or whatever. That's why. Sometimes it look fine, then sometimes it look crazy like it's looking now. And it's funny, right? So don't listen, y'all. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't take it like I'm saying this is what this is. But it's just so funny. I'm listening to Drop Nation. Con Drop doing a video on the yall, right? And the yall has something wrong with his eye. Right? They saying it's sleep or a lazy eye, but they saying the right eye. And it's just so funny. I got a jacked up eye, even though it's not the right eye, but my eye's jacked up. But it got messed up, I didn't do it, So we're just gonna leave it there. It's not like I just, it's not, something happened. And that's why my eye look crazy like that. Because I can see it while I'm walking, so I know y'all can see it. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to pause this while I'm in the store and then start it back. All right, y'all. So hold on a second, excuse me. So I'm back, y'all. So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna definitely play the video, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about, and then it's some scriptures, but this will be a different video because it's a lot of reading, and I gotta put it together and make sure that everything is correctly, if you understand what I'm saying, or at least to the point where me and you can understand. But it's I'm gonna tell you something. It's amazing how it's just the knowledge is given to you, and the funny thing is about it is you knew you didn't know it at all. You didn't have a clue, and then when you're given it and then you take it apart, because it ain't just, sometimes it's given to you, as a whole, a whole thing. It's given to you, right? So you know exactly what it means and everything. But then sometimes it's given to you and you gotta look and research for it and find out, what's going on. And if anybody's wondering what I was talking about, the Dajjal, pretty much, like I've been telling y'all, the Antichrist, the Dajjal, anything that they say is anti their God is got something to do with us. So when they telling about this anti their Christ is going to come and destroy and everybody's going to love him and this and that. They're talking about David because, like, for the ones of us that don't understand Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, all those religions, all religion means devil to me. That's what it means. But all those things, they are against us. Christianity is the reason why we're in the predicament we're in now. Actually, we're the reason why we're in the predicament we're in now. But you understand what I'm saying. So just know that all these religions are against you and against your power. So just something for you to know, some some food, you know what I mean? Some Grubhub or whatever, you know. So it's just things that we should know and understand. So when they telling you the Antichrist coming to destroy us and everything. No, you're right. It is. It's coming to destroy them, not you. The ones that side with them and sign contracts with them and hold hand in hand with them, yeah, they gonna get it. They gonna get it. You know, and it's crazy because this the decent part. You know, you like, you know, it's amazing when you really sit back and you start to think how awesome the Most High is, right? Like when you really sit back and you just start, paying attention to what he be doing, it's awesome. Because what you don't understand is when he says that you don't die, he's talking about your spirit. Your flesh is just a vessel, and when your spirit die, when your body die, it's not like you lose anything. That's why if you read the scriptures, he tell you he has to clean us, wash us clean. You know what I'm saying? We have to be cleaned. So just think about that. It's gonna get dark because I just walked in the house, put my bag down, and go back out, and take a walk and talk. But yeah, that's what that means. So because we don't know, like when he says we're gonna be changed, you know what I'm saying? When he comes, then we're gonna run through everything. Because remember, he says that we are his whipping tool. He ain't talking about nobody else, he talking about us. And it says we gonna break many nations in pieces. It says we are. So you don't know what. We could get changed into dragons for it, And that's just real talk. Or giant men and women. Because the women gonna be right there with us. And I'm gonna tell you something, like I've been saying. The fierce is a female. Because I can get mad, like I said before, I can get mad at somebody, and 10 minutes later, I'm cool. Most women, no. A lot of them, that situation ain't going away until somebody get hands put on them. You know what I mean? That's just real talk. I done seen it so many times. Even down to the intellectual ones, electoral ones, the ones that, that's smart, that dress up, dressed like a lawyer, but they that switch go on. It's like, whoa, who you? So just something you should think about. But I'm definitely pulling that movie up tonight. I'm definitely letting y'all hear what they saying. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna culminate everything, because it's not just one scene. So I'm gonna try to do like all the scenes back to back, but then just like break them down as they going. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you something else. I'll be in my I'll be paying attention to everything, man, because the Father, he done released these creatures that live in the second part of the earth, what they call hollow earth. But he's done released these creatures. And so I was watching a video, and it's talk about some people call them werewolves, some of us call them dogmen. I did the video, with the dogs of the conquest, where what the lady was saying that these dogs were doing, or they were making agreements It's almost impossible because dogs don't do that. But there actually are pictures and videos circulating now about these giant 9 to 11 feet tall, muscular, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dogs. You know, I'm talking about Arnold back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s looking dogs. But they 9 to 11 feet tall. Could run almost one person said the dog was running at least 65, 70 miles per hour next to his car, trying to open his door. So just think about this. There's a white man in his sports car, right? This is back in the day. So he had like a Camaro Z28 or something. But I forgot. Yeah, it's probably like a Camaro. I think a Camaro. Yeah, Camaro's a Z28. So he has that, and he said he pulled over on the side of the road, country road, forest on his one side, grass, you know, like a plain is on the other side. He said he seen this big behind dog on 4 legs. He said, but the dog on 4 legs was close to 5 feet on 4 legs. The height of his back and his head was almost close to 5 feet. So now you got to think about that. You're looking at an animal on 4 legs, standing up, and almost 5 feet tall. That's crazy. So he said he was looking at it because it was in like the bushes, and it was looking at him. He said, and it had like these yellow eyes. So he said when he went to start the car, I'm gonna go back this one. So he said when he went to go start his car, it stood up on 2 legs. And he said it was furry, and its chest was like silver. Fur was black. He said he had these long ears, like a Doberman Pinscher. He said, and it had a long snout, large teeth. He said the teeth was like the size of lion teeth. And then he said what scared the life out of him is when he saw the hands. He said that dog had 5 hands, long, very long arms, with long, sharp nails. Just like what they would call a werewolf, right? So he said he took off in his car. Whoa. He said he thought he was fine. He said he just happened to look over to the passenger side. He said this thing was running on 2 legs, looking at him. He said he swore he thought it was smiling at him, like grinning at him, like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere. So he said this thing running right next to him, grinning. He said he looked at his speedometer. His car doing almost 70 miles per hour. So he had what they call a speed shifter. He said he threw that thing down in 3 to, you know, get a little oomph going on, right? So he threw it in 3, and he said this thing was still with him. He said so he was getting up to like 88 miles per hour, I think is what he said. And he said it took his hand and reached out for his knob. Think about that. The dog thing reached out and was trying to open his door while the car was in motion. He was in motion, and he was like, he panicked so fast to lock the doors. Now, if you know about them cars, some of them cars had the pull-up handles, and then some of them cars had the handle you grab and push the button, right? So now think about that. You got, look at my hand. You got some that go up like this, where you know you open the door. Then you got some that do that. You push the button. So I think the button he was saying, I think this probably was a Trans Am. He said the thing grabbed the handle and was pushing the button, running over 70 miles per hour. Next to him, grinning, like showing his teeth. But he said, you know when a dog growls and makes, you know, a snoring noise when he snarls at you, right? He said this thing was growling, but it was smiling. He said it was smiling at me like, yeah. So he said once the 3rd gear kicked in, it was out. He was out. He was like, it couldn't keep up with him. So, you know, it stopped. Said it just stood up and looked at him while he rolling, right? So that's one thing. Then we got another story with this one guy. He said they, you know, the Mexican alleged people. Well, we know they're not the real Mexicans. We the Mexicans. But that's not even a nationality. Y'all know what I mean? So he said they was on their dad's farm, and they had he said his dad had over 100 acres of land, and whatever. It's just so funny. Everybody can get land, but we can't. It's ours. So he says, so they were all out there drinking. And he said his grandfather said, I can't, he said, oh my God, it's back. That's what he said. So he said when they heard him say that, because their backs were to the forest area. So it's like, he said it's like 15, 20 acres of land, and then it's the forest. He said, so they were talking, and the father was facing the wooded area. And he was like, oh my God, it's back. So now, remember, now I want y'all to understand this. The dad said, the grandfather said this happened in the 60s. So they had that land for a long time. He said well, not my fault, not where they at now, but he saw something like that in the 60s when he was young. That's what the grandfather said. Well, told him, but he said the guy said he never got into the story. So they stand up, they turn around. Now all these dudes got guns too, just so happened. This is what the man's telling. He said, so everybody, because he said his grandfather pressed that they carry weapons. So he said they turn around, everybody pull out, whatever, they see it. He said, but, so, it's tall grass. So, the anchor's going back to the woods, the grass is tall. He said, but you can see it peering, through the grass. So he's saying, with the grass, the height of the grass is about 4.5 feet, right? He says the eyes is looking straight at him, but it's in the tall grass, right? So he said they looking like amazed because the eyes are yellow, right? Bright yellow, like these yellow eyes, not like bright yellow, but just the only thing you can see. But that's that night glow, that reflector they have, animals have. So he says he was gonna shoot it. He said when he pulled his gun and aimed, he said the thing must have knew that he was going to shoot his gun. He said he was like, I couldn't understand how this thing knew what I had in my hand was a gun. So he said he aimed it to shoot it. He said this thing stood up, and he said, look at my hand. He said from aiming like this, he had to aim like that. He said this is how tall this thing was, 15 acres away. So that's a tall thing. So he said now, he said he's so scared he don't know what to do. He like, I don't know to run. He said, I don't know what to do. So he popped off, he said. He said, I shot one. He said the thing didn't move. He said the next thing you know, he said it dropped down on all fours, and he said that thing got to the tree line so fast. He said he couldn't believe how fast this thing was moving. So if it's like 15 acres between them and the tree line, and he said it was like halfway, so you're looking at about 7.5, 8 acres. He said this thing got, through 7.5 acres within seconds to the tree line. He said this thing was extremely fast, right? So then he's talking about the second time he had an incident. This is the second incident. So he's he's driving his car and stuff like that, and he's driving his car. It's a shame. When your people drive by, you gotta literally check them out because you don't know. You know what I mean? But so he says he's driving his car, and no, my fault. I'm going somewhere else with it because that just threw me off. So this was the second story. So he said this is like 7 years later. He said he was leaving, same house, and he was like his grandfather stressed that they keep guns on him, right? So he said he was just leaving his grandfather's house. His friend or cousin called him. They were doing work on this house, right? So he told him he'll come over there and help him out, right? So he goes to go help him out, and he goes over there, and the next thing you know, he says the way it is, it's a long driveway, very long driveway. Then he says, then you gotta go down these steps and stuff to get to the driveway. What's up, brother? Hey, you alright? You alright? It's me, nigga. I'm videotaping myself, but I'm taking my walks like I told you I was. Yes, sir. Right around the house. That's it. Yeah. I'm about to right now. Right after I finish it. I know, right? All right, bro. So he says his boy, whatever. So he show up at the job or whatever like that. So he says they working or whatever. He says so he stands up and it's like, yeah, huh? I know. I'm about to go in. I'm about to go in there. I'm going through the back. I got you. So he so he says they look out this window, second floor window. Well, he did. He said he just had this feeling that something was watching him. So he says he look out the window and he see these yellow eyes again. But it's like twilight in between. You know, it's not dark yet, but it's still lit. But it's still, that area was getting dark, you know, because it's wooded. So he see him. He like, oh, wow. So he tell his boy, he like, yeah, I seen him. He was like, but they could be a deer or something like that or whatever. So, you know, he like, all right, I ain't going to trip, right? So next thing you know, his man, he needed this tool that he had. I think it was a jet. So, you know, the jet shoots wires through a line if you got a line underground or whatever. So he, no, my fault, my fault. Not that. The jet it's a thing you could put in copper pipes and it actually pressurizes and stops the water from coming through so you can solder the lead. My fault. So, but that's what he said he needed. So he goes out there, but now this is the thing. He says when you go out there, you got to walk down the steps to get to the driveway. And he was like, and the driveway, he said, to get to his car, he had to make 30 paces. So that's 30 steps, walk, you know, to get to his truck. So as he's walking, he like, he sees something. But it's near his truck. He literally sees something. It's near his truck. And his crazy behind, instead of turning around and jetting back to the house, he know it's a dog. He said it looked like a dog. It was on the bed of his truck looking, but he didn't know it wasn't on the bed. It was standing up. But it was so big, it looked like it was in the truck. So he's like, okay. You know, let me go back this way. So he's like, okay. Let me see what kind of dog this is. He said the dog looked big, but his crazy behind kept going. Yeah, to go see. So, next thing you know, he said he gets about 15 paces away from the car. He said, and this thing stood up. And he said when it stood up, it hopped in the bed of his truck. So he said this thing looked like about probably 20-something feet, something like that. Probably not that. Probably was like 18 feet or something, or 15 feet. Or whatever. He said it looked crazy tall. So he said it was nothing he could do. He said he kept going. He said he walked to his truck. He said it was sniffing, like smelling the air, right? He said then it got down. He said first it stepped up on like the roof of the car. He said then it jumped down on the hood. He said now I'm standing next to the hood. He said and this thing is on the other side. And he was like, it was so huge. But he was like, it didn't growl at him or nothing. He said, but his heart was in his sneaker. He said he ain't know what to do. So he said he slowly pulled out his firearm. Now this is crazy. He said when he slowly pulled the firearm out and cocked it, you know, on your pants, because you can cock your gun on your pants. He said, and cocked it, he said it looked at him. So now think about this. You got an animal or a dog thing, look at you, pull out your gun, and cock it. He said this joint looked at him and he shook his head no. This is what this man said. He said this dog thing saw him pull his gun out and cock it and looked at him and did this. No. Like warning him, don't do it. So he said, number one, he was stuck on stupid. He said number two, you know, he couldn't believe it. He was like, what the hell? So as he do that, he said he puts it on the hood. Now, just think about this. This man, he said, was an F-150. Now you talking about a thing, a dog thing on one side of the truck, you on the other side. He said he don't know why he did it, but he did it. He said he put it on the hood. He said it looked at him and grinned like it was smiling at him. That's what he said. Then he said it lifted his head up and made this crazy loud. He said it sounded like a woman screaming, like that, like yeah, but with a howl at the end of it. So it sounded like a woman screaming with a howl at the end. So now anybody in the country, you heard that, now you know what you're hearing. So he said all of a sudden 5 came out from all over the place, around the house and all. So he was like, was they going to attack us? Then his bull, he said, so right after it left, his bull seen the back of him going into the woods. So he was like about to shoot, and he told him no. He had like an assault rifle. So he said, he was like, I think they was about to run down on us, like, white guys. Well, Mexican guys, I'm sorry. He said, I think they was about to run down on us. Like kill us or whatever, right? Like they literally set up an attack. They had my man surrounded. You know what I'm saying? So now he's so he goes and he says he meets up with his Indian friend, which we already know that's bullcrap. We already know that. So his fake Indian friend, because you already know most of the stuff that they know is because of our hieroglyphs, our notes and everything like that, everything that we left. So he says he goes meet up with his friend. God telling him, he said, oh, those beasts are the protectors of the Indians. He said they protect the people, and he said they protect the graves, so we don't defile the graves or whatever like that. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. But that's what it was, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Shalom.